you want more?
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Hey, thank you for your time. New Alcatraz music coming out.
Yes, the new record comes out next month.
Right. So this would be record number 3 for you with the band.
Number 3, yeah. Yes.
So I guess you're sticking around.
Apparently so, yes, exactly. I've already made made two more records than both Yngwie and Steve have. Well,
I was going to say, right. I was going to say that you've had the longest tenure, I guess, so far.
Well, I think the bands have this is the longest that this tenure of the band, I think, is even longer than the original one. I forget when,
right.
Dangerous Games, I wasn't really paying attention, so I don't know when that came out, but I think
80,
the whole thing was,
what was that, like 80, 87 maybe, 88, something like that. Yeah.
So the whole thing lasted, I think, from Yngwie to Dangerous Games, I want to say from 83 to 87, maybe 4 years or something.
That's kind of crazy when you think about it. I mean, it seemed like it was a lengthier period of time, but they cranked out those records pretty quick.
Yeah, because you had you had No Parole, and then Live Sentence came out like shortly after that. And then that live it was originally, I had the VHS cassette, the original
right.
one.
Yeah, right.
One with Yngwie in Japan with Alcatraz.
Right.
And I wore all those out. So, once they, contacted me and said they were relaunching the thing and would have be interested, I was like, yes, of course.
So how did you get approached about this? Because I mean, like you said, I mean, it sounds like you've been a fan for a bit of Alcatraz and all the guitarists that were in the band prior to your tenure. But how'd you get approached about being part of the band?
Oh, I was on vacation. I was in Austin, Texas, and I was just in my hotel room playing before I went out and go out and bang around the city. But I checked my email, and it was Alcatraz's manager Giles Lavery, and he said and at the time they hadn't relaunched it. They said, hey, we're going to relaunch Alcatraz with original members Graham Bonnet and Jimmy Waldo. Would you be interested in doing it? And then I said, absolutely. And then he emailed me like right back and said, here's Jimmy's number, call him. And I spoke to Jimmy on the phone for like well over an hour. And then we were talking on a regular basis. Then I went out there and played with him. It really wasn't an audition type of thing. They heard my stuff and knew my reputation, so they knew, and they knew that two of my main influences and heroes are Ritchie Blackmore and Yngwie Malmsteen. So they needed somebody that did that. So I was like a perfect fit for the thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's great as far as you slipping in seamlessly into this whole thing.
I can't complain. It's worked out well, and they also want to. I'm much more like, let's say, compared to Yngwie and Steve, I'm much more of a metal dude. So they also wanted the band to be a bit heavier as well. Like, so not just fans of like Yngwie or Shanker or Rainbow,
right,
but like people that like Priest or Accept or Saxon or Maiden. They would also Alcatraz would appeal to them as well.
Now, how surreal was it for you, when you get approached about being part of Alcatraz, and then you have, 3 of the guys that were in the classic lineup, and you're in there, cranking out songs, whether it's, the classics or working on new song ideas. How surreal was that for you? Because you came on board with the last Bonnet record.
It was great. I have no, I loved, I love it and I still love it. And, I played with Graham and then, and now Doogie. So, 2 singers that sang with, sang with 3 of my heroes, Michael Schenker, Blackmore, and Yngwie Malmsteen. So, so I'm, I'm counting my blessings.
That's wild, just that those guys have that history and now you're part of it.
Yeah. So I'm very thankful, and and I enjoy it, and I enjoy the music, and it was fun. In the original lineup, the first time
Hmm.
in 2019 playing with Graham, that was great,
Right.
and the new lineup with Doogie, that's working out great as well.
Now, I mean, I know Born Innocent, great record, it kind of flew under the radar. I mean, would you agree that it didn't get its rightful respect?
Well, that record was kind of strange because what happened with that record was they before they approached me,
Hmm.
they kind of had this they were thinking of a way to pitch Alcatraz to a bunch of the record companies. So they originally said, well, let's take a bunch of people that have worked with Graham before, and
Hmm.
we'll get them all to contribute a track, and we'll kind of approach it that way. This is before I got involved. So they got this guy Dario Molo, really good player, Italian guitar player. He had done some work with Graham and Don Airy, and he wrote a couple tunes on the record. This is all before me, and Chris and Pelletieri contributed a track,
Hmm.
and Bob Hewlick.
Oh
He
yeah,
said, so, yeah, Bob. Because Jimmy and Graham had that band with him,
Blackthorn.
Blackthorn.
Yeah.
So they had a couple of Bob's tunes,
Hmm.
and then I came into the picture, and then I wrote a bunch of tunes for the record. So like Polar Bear was mine, and London 1666 was mine,
Yeah.
and The Body Beautiful, and a couple other things. Um, so I'm on most of the record, but it was kind of weird with all the special guests. But that was
Hmm.
already in motion before I got involved. But yeah, that record was kind of. I mean, it was kind of all over the place a little, since you had like so many different people contributing tracks. Where the last two are, since I do the majority of the writing. The last two are a little bit more focused direction wise.
Hmm. And record number two now with Doogie, which, I think when Graham, was no longer part of the band, it was kind of interesting to see how this was all going to work out. But you guys got uh, a guy with a great rep and obviously, a following and a fan base himself. So I think it worked out pretty well. Now, album number two with him.
Yeah, album number two with Doogie, and to me, it's like he's got this basically the same. Granted, Down to Earth was a much bigger record for
Hmm.
Rainbow than The Stranger in Us All was, and that was their first commercial success in America. But Doogie, sang with Ingve, sang with Richie Blackmore, sang with Michael
Right.
Schenker, same as Graham. So he checks all the boxes. But
Yeah.
and then on the new record, I think it's Doogie's finest hour, as far as like this might be, because I'm familiar with all the Schenker stuff and the Blackmore
Hmm.
stuff, and of course the two records he did with Ingve. So this might be some of his best work, as far as things he's done in the past.
And I'd agree with that. I mean, it just seems like the guy keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, he was in great voice this time. I think on on five, V or whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
guys, sometimes Dewey
Yeah.
calls it V, sometimes they call it five, but whatever you want to
Right.
call it.
Right.
The Roman numeral five. I think he was just getting over COVID at some point, and that was the kind of that record was done where maybe so I think he's in much better. Not that he didn't sing great on five, but I mean he's really knocking it out of the park on the new record.
Right. And as far as the approach to the material that made this record and made it onto this record, I mean, I like the fact that you guys keep things pretty simple, keep the old school formula, try to keep it to about 10 tunes, because I think it's that classic formula and you don't overdo it. There are no filler on the records and stuff like that. But having said that, with the songs that made the record, were there any holdovers from the previous writing sessions, or is this all brand new stuff?
No, this is all brand new, like all brand new. In fact, I wrote like a ton of tunes, because the majority of the tunes on the record are either mine, or I had like a hand in writing.
Mm.
And I had a bunch of other tunes that didn't make it onto the record. That I had probably another, and then there's a couple more that were they're going to use one for a Japanese bonus track.
Mm.
So we had plenty of stuff to pick from. You know what I mean? I want to say we probably had another 5 or 6 tunes finished that we
Oh wow.
easily, yeah, that, but Jimmy and Giles kind of drive the Giles Lavery, the manager. Jimmy and Giles
Sure.
kind of drive the bus on what's going to be on the. I just crank out the tunes and play them. It's like if you let and then me and Jimmy record them, and I'm like, if you like it, great. If you don't want to use it, you know what I mean. It's not
Right.
like I'm going to be upset. I write so much stuff.
Wow. And as the stuff that doesn't make these records, I mean, is that something you're kind of tucking away in your own vaults for later use for something?
Well, a couple of them are super strong, so I think we're going to use them,
Hmm.
next time around. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just a matter of I don't know. Those guys kind of sift through it. And the other thing is, Five had like 12 tunes, and the record company Silver Lining, they wanted to keep it. They wanted to keep it 10. That way, that a lot of concerns about the time of the record, as far as like having it be transferring it to vinyl.
Oh,
So that's
right. Right.
another thing that I don't
Sure.
even yeah, like it's got a time out at a specific time in order to be able to fit the whole thing onto vinyl.
Which kind of goes back to that whole classic sequencing and the 10 songs, right? You could do 5 and 5.
Yeah, yeah, like or like on Rainbow Rising, where side two was only
Right.
Stargazer and Light in the Black. You know.
Is that something you want to try to convince the guys to do at some point down the way? Allow you to just kind of cut loose for an entire 20 minutes?
That the record company, that them and the record company already think my guitar solos are all too long as it is.
Oh man.
They're always trying to rein me in, at some
Right.
point, whether it's live or there. But I just do my thing.
Right. So, I last go round, I think for the last couple records, I think I did get a chance to speak with Jimmy, and I think his hopes were to do some North American dates, probably as a package and stuff like that. Obviously, with the COVID and even when things kind of got reopened and the door swung open, it was still not feasible for a lot of bands to do that. What's kind of the game plan at this point for you guys as far as doing any live appearances in North America?
We're talking about d- doing it like in a package, and they're talking about doing it in like, because I don't know if the package is going to be, depending on like how the budget is.
Hmm.
So whether we're going to have a bus or not. So you
Hmm.
can't do like a big huge tour of the
Right.
states without a nightliner. So but they're talking about doing it in like regions of the country,
Oh,
like
okay.
maybe 10, 12 shows at a time, kind of thing.
Mm,
So they're talking about that ramping up towards the end of this year and bleeding into next year. So I
okay.
hope that's the case. It would be nice to play in the United States and in North America. We're going to South America in September, and then doing some festival stuff in Europe in
Oh,
right
nice.
before that. But then they're talking about some North American action towards the end of the year, November,
Oh,
December.
nice. And I imagine it would be with kind of a band in a similar vein as far as history and kind of established act as well.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a three-band back
Oh,
package, three-band package.
nice.
Probably, probably a couple of the other, because Giles manages a whole bunch of bands. Whether it's
Hmm.
he manages both versions of Riot, right?
Oh,
Riot
that's
Act,
right.
Riot
Yeah,
Five, and then he manages Chris and Belleteri. He also manages Lillian
that's
Axe
right.
and Girls School. So there was talk about like us, Lillian Axe and Girls School doing it, but I don't
Yeah.
know if anything's set in stone yet. But that's the word on the street. But
Yeah.
I'll see what happens. I'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I'll,
When,
yeah, whatever works. I mean, I'd be up for Alcatraz and Pelletary and one of the two, either version of the
one of the
Riot.
two riots. Yeah,
Yeah, one
yeah,
of the two
yeah, yeah,
riots.
yeah,
That would
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So we'll see what happens.
That'd be like a guitar fest for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the other thing is like with shows like that, you have like mainly guitar players, and and then and then whatever guitar players' girlfriends have been dragged to the show. You know what I mean? So
There you go. That's right. So, and obviously we touched on Ingve and Steve Vai and stuff. Like, how do you approach that material when it comes to, performing it live? I mean, do you try to put your own spin to things, or do you try to play it, true to its original form?
I play it fairly true, like when I play that. Well, the Steve stuff, I'm not really comfortable doing because I don't play anything
Right.
like that.
Hmm.
Like on Born Innocent, there's a
Yeah.
tune called "Dirty Like the City,"
Oh,
and
yeah.
Steve wrote the tune, but I'm playing guitar on it.
Right.
You know, and I'm playing very much in that, it kind of being true to Steve's track and everything. And for a while we did "God Bless" video, but I thought,
Mm.
that's we're kind of scrapping that and just kind of keeping with the with especially now with a couple records to pick from. What
Right.
we're gonna and playing stuff off the new record, but we're still gonna be playing a bunch of stuff from No Parole. But the Inmate stuff, I stay fairly true. Or
Hmm.
what I do is I'll kind of take I'll kind of take a solo, and maybe some of it's a combination of a lot, of a live version of the solo and the studio version of the solo. I do that with Too Drunk. I think I play the live the live set and solo.
Hmm.
And Jet to Jet I play pretty much like
Oh,
note for
yeah.
note because it's such a classic solo, and
Right.
I love it. And then same thing, like next tour we're going to be doing Hiroshima and Krinakori as well. So both of those I play pretty close, but I'll add some additional shredding and different things, but definitely keep it. It's not a big stretch for me to channel the Ingve thing, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Right.
so, because I've always he's been one of my favorite players along with Blackmore since
Mhm.
since the Steeler record came out. I've been listening
Oh,
to him.
geez, the Steeler
Yeah,
record, man.
and
Oh,
Blackmore since Made in Japan and Machine Head.
geez. Now you're taking me back. Steeler.
Yeah, the Steeler record. I had that, and then I had the Alcatraz record. So I was and I kind of had the Rising Force record, the first Ingve record, when
Hmm.
it was still like an import, and nobody
Right.
really, like Ingve was still a bit under the radar, before
Hmm.
he really broke out. You know what I mean?
Right. Is there a chance anything from Born Innocent is going to make it on into the sets, you think, or is that kind of something you guys have tucked away for a bit?
Well, we on the last, not last tour, but the tour,
Hmm.
we have done London 1666 a bunch,
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a cool tune, and it's heavy and it translates good live. So that one. But I mean, a lot of the focus will be on trying to play maybe three, maybe four tunes off the new record.
Hmm.
Um, so probably, and last tour we were playing because Don't Get Mad, Get Even
Oh,
got
yeah.
the single was released during the tour, so we were playing that one live. We did a UK tour in February, last
Hmm.
February. So we were doing that one live.
Nice. How was that particular run for you guys?
It was good. It was really good. We were out with the girls' school ladies. We've toured with them
Yeah.
many times.
Nice.
They're pretty, and of course, the UK's their home turf, so the London show was sold out. It was great, and it's a good mix. It's a good mix. You get you get like people with rainbow T-shirts and people with Motorhead T-shirts, like at
Yeah.
the
No
same
kidding.
show.
Yeah.
So it's a good cross section because people come out and see both bands.
Yeah. I mean, did you guys have to tailor any of the tunes to the audience now that you're
Uh,
mentioning, European versus American audiences are slightly different, but
No. We were just doing our thing. We played like some stuff off of Five, the new track,
mhm,
a bunch of the old Alcatraz stuff, and of course, with Doogie, we were playing we were playing Ariel, we were playing Too Late for Tears, and we were playing, I mean, just like we used to do with Graham when we used to do All Night Long,
mhm,
Since You've Been Gone, Lost in Hollywood, and Assault Attack.
right.
Not Assault Attack, but we used to play Desert Song,
Desert
and
song. Yeah.
Desert Song, and and you know, and so we were playing all of you know, we played a few of the like three Rainbow tunes and maybe
Oh,
one or two Shanker things as well.
wow. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's fun for me because I love
Sure.
Blackmore and I love Shanker and I love Ingve. So all of the stuff I play, I really enjoy. I
Right.
enjoy playing, and I play it all like fairly true. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I don't try to overdo it. You know, try to play
Sure.
true. You know, in the in the Shanker vein, and you know, and channel you know. And I love Blackmore, so that's easy.
Right. So for yourself, I mean, how do you guys put together a set list? Does everybody just bring down a list, or is it something that management and maybe Jimmy kind of do, or how's that all work?
Um, Usually everyone adds their 2 cents or whatever. And you know, it's kind of strange because like while Alcatraz was almost more, you know, more of a cult thing, and a lot of people really knew of Alcatraz, you know, because the band's always been driven by the guitar, so
Hmm.
they really knew it more because of Ingve and Steve, you
Hmm.
know, like more so than anything. So it depends. You have some Alcatraz fans, but some people, you know, some people are more excited to hear Doogie sing the Rainbow stuff, and then all of a
Right.
sudden they hear us playing stuff off of Five, and they just think it's cool. They might not even know, they might not even be familiar with the record, or or then they end up getting the record, or they just end up getting the record. So it's like a cross section of different things. So you never know what to keep and what to, you know. I mean, we'll probably keep some of the Rainbow stuff, maybe phase out, you know, maybe only do one Shanker thing, and then a few more things off of No Parole, and then a mix of stuff off of Five in the new record.
Nice. So what's well, it's actually a two-part question, but what's a deep cut that you'd like to include in the set, and what's a newer cut that you'd like to include in the set, maybe from the last record or the current record?
As far as the record that's just, you know, the record that's about to be released, I think we're, you know, I think we're gonna start that probably the first tune on the record, Little
Oh,
Viper will end up being the new set opener now,
nice.
you know,
Yeah,
and yeah, that's a fairly vicious track,
yeah, for sure.
and you know that because so that'll be really good, and 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 another thing off the new record we'll do is Bring on the Rock. That's the next
Oh,
single,
okay.
and that's like a fast double bass thing. So
Right.
that'll be, you know, that'll be a live staple, and and then as far as like deeper album cuts,
Right.
like I don't know about us doing anything like all that deep off of. I'm trying to think of something off of the new, you know, off of the new record,
Hmm.
maybe Power and Numbers or something like that. That's more of
Okay.
a deeper cut.
Sure.
Um, yeah, off of Five, we were doing sort of Deliverance, which worked out really good live. You know that, and we
Yeah.
were doing Turn of the Wheel, which also worked out really good live. Those will probably stay. We were also doing Grace of God. That'll probably go.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah, you know, I forget we played four, I think four tunes off of Five on the last, you know,
Wow.
on the last tour.
Cool. Well, definitely looking forward to you guys doing some North American gigs in the fall, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, that'll be nice. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to playing in the States. You know, I like playing. Me, I like playing anywhere, so I don't care.
Hmm.
You know, I
Yeah.
don't mind traveling. I like playing. You know, I played all over the world between like Alcatraz and my other bands and my solo things. So you know, I'm always ready for action.
Nice. Hey man, thank you for your time. I just got probably one more question and then I'll cut
Oh,
you loose,
sure.
and I really appreciate it, and we'll get
Oh,
links
you know,
to
thanks for
everybody.
having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. So last question. Is there a particular factoid that we would not know about Joe Stump unless you disclosed it? And if so, what would that be?
Oh, a particular factoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, you know, well, you know, obviously, what everybody, most people that know me know I'm from New York, and
Yeah.
they know you know, because you could hear the way I talk. They know most people that know me know I'm a huge Yankee fan. So I know more about baseball than just about any other metal dude there is. And the other thing people would not know is that I love to cook, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, I'm that I throw down in the kitchen. That's why Jimmy comes to my place and stay. When we were recording the record,
Yeah.
he stays at my place here, and we work for hours. Hours recording. But for him, it's like being on vacation because I make him breakfast. Then I make him dinner. I make all kinds of stuff.
Oh, geez.
So he's like, he's like extremely excited whenever he's coming here,
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
'cause he's living
I
it
was
up.
I was going to say that was the last question, but now I have to follow that up. Now, what's your favorite dish to prepare?
Well, I grew up in my mother's side of the family is from Brooklyn, East New York. So
Hmm.
I was because my mother's side of the family is hardcore Brooklyn Italian.
Hmm.
So anything Italian like that, like ziti with the meat gravy, sausage and
Oh,
broccoli,
wow.
rabi and gnocchietti, chicken parmesan, shrimp parmesan.
Wow.
Yeah, shrimp fried diavolo. I make just about anything. I mean, anything Italian. That's my go-to. I love Indian food as well.
Mm,
Like so I'll make vindaloo and I'll make tandoori and I'll do stuff like that too.
wow.
But the
Fantastic. So,
Italian stuff is my go-to. The Italian stuff is my go-to. I'm
right,
trying to
right.
I'm trying to I'm trying to branch out my repertoire, but because you can't eat Italian food every night, or although I could, but I'd be like 400 pounds.
Yeah, no kidding. So we know Joe Stump, guitarist, songwriter, baseball fanatic, and cook.
And yeah, I enjoy it because all I do is play guitar. And all I do is play guitar, so I have to have something that. And when I'm
Sure.
watching the Yankees, all I do is sit there and play guitar and yell at the TV when they're not doing well. So, and then I'll do it like after at the when I was in the in the last summer in Europe, I would be like finish the show. Then I don't eat before the show. I'd eat something, and then I'd be in my hotel room watching the Yankees on my computer until like 3 in the morning.
Oh,
Because I'm watching the 7 o'clock game from the States.
right. Hey, since you have your guitar, I think last thing, and this will be it. This will be the last thing. Could you play your favorite riff off any of the tunes on the current record?
Oh, hold on, I'll have to plug in.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, give me a sec. Uh, if I could.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I like Don't Get Mad. Even I got my watch on too, which I never
Yeah,
play.
right. Oh, we can't. Oh, wait a minute. We can't hear it. What's the deal?
What's that?
I don't think we can hear it. I can't hear it.
Hold on a sec. You can't hear that?
No.
That's very strange.
Weird.
Yeah, because I have a mic in the room,
Ah,
and yeah, I have a mic in the room, and I have that, because this is like I'm set up for when I give lessons. So I have a
right.
mic.
Huh.
You can hear any of that?
We can hear very, very muted, but yeah, I can hear it. Yeah,
Well,
I can make out what
that's
it
very
is.
strange. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very strange. Oh well.
Oh,
I
well.
don't know what to do. But
No.
anyway, yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah.
problem. Well,
But
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, I
Well,
got no. Yeah, no
thanks for having
problem.
me and everything.
Yeah, thanks. And we'll plug everything. We'll get the link to the PR, to management. It'll eventually make it to you, and then we can post it online and pass it around.
All right, great. All right,
All right,
thanks so
man.
much.
Take care. Yep.
All right, see you.
Bye.